was I Have a Dream by Herbie Hancock. I know you all know that. And the tune before that was Marvin's Room by my favorite composer, Drake. What's that? What's up with that stuff, Drake? Yeah. Very, very unique group. One of very few in the country like this. Usually you would hear this over at the University of North Texas with the Zebras. And that was started by Dan Hurley in the early 70s. One of the graduates from the University of North Texas teaches here, Kent Ellingson. He's been here about 30 years. And he started this group at that time, about 30 years ago. And since that time, they have appeared at the International Association of Jazz Educators Conference in New York, the only high school group ever in the 40 years of that organization to open up an event on a world stage in front of about 7,000 in New York City. They've won multiple Downbeat Music Awards, both under Kent and fortunately a couple under myself because I learned how to do it from Kent. And I decided early on, before we came back to the school this year, that I would hold up certain names every concert that we do publicly. I think it's extremely important not only to remember the alumni that have gone here, and many you'll never hear from, but they're holding up the industry every single day. The thousands of kids that have come through the music department that hold up the music industry that you never hear of. You hear about the stars, but you don't hear about Danny O'Brien and Alan Emmert and kids like that, the Joe Jacksons and on and on. But there are four instructors, I think, that, or three, that need to be mentioned because this was really what made our jazz department so successful over these many years. One is Kent Ellingson. Fortunately, he's still here, and he walks the halls and does magic with students every single day. Another is a gentleman who was here for 31 years, also out of the University of North Texas, and when he was studying with the great jazz instructor on guitar at that school for many years, Jack Peterson, he also asked Jack if he could make copies of his guitar book. That book was really a jazz ensemble for a guitar ensemble. And most universities around the country have that. They have that going on. Well, guys, stay with me for just a second, if you don't mind. Yeah, thanks. And just like class, you know what I'm saying? I'm over there. And it was very, very interesting to me to see what happened over a 30-year period when we produced some of the greatest guitar players in the world to go on and record on major labels and do major things under Chuck Pangburn. That's a name you need to remember. We do here every day when we read about, hear about, and play albums by some of our alumni. The last name I wanted to mention tonight, and we'll continue to mention throughout the year, is a gentleman that was here for 14 years, guys, and some of you had the wonderful ability to study under him. I know our pianist is studying with him right now privately, and that's Roger Boykin. Roger is a unique individual who had a radio show for close to 30 years on WRR every Sunday, and more importantly, he changed the lives of many musicians that are now successful in the industry, and he was part of our walk for 14 years here at Booker T. Washington. So it's those three, and this lucky one who got to work with those incredible, wonderful, wonderful people that have made up our jazz department and the success of a vision that we put together that students like you're listening to tonight bought into, and look what happened. And so we're going to do another tune for you here, and